YouTube, welcome to Axis and Allies, the Garrison. This is Detroit coming to you from Rochelle Park, New Jersey. Today we're going over the third video component of series, a battle report series, where the problem with Germany. Okay, GA was able to effectively pull the rabbit out of the hat when he surprisingly attacked the German Navy at Sea Zone 113. Okay, he did this by deploying his two aircraft carriers that had 4 fighters into 112. He had 4 fighters in London, which he deployed, and then he had an additional 4 fighters that came from the Mediterranean, from Greece. He deployed these air assets and attacked the German Navy, which was composed of 2 carriers, a destroyer, and 11 naval transports, 4 fighters, and an additional 3 tactical bombers that were scrambled. Okay. The German Naval Task Force at 113 was destroyed as a result. Okay, that was a mistake that I made. I failed to realize that the 2 British carriers could be deployed into 112. That was a mistake that the Germans made. Okay, any observations, GA?
Well, this was actually formidable force. 11 transports going against the UK. So the UK had to be very thoughtful about what it was going to do and how it was going to allocate its assets in England. So the United States absolutely helped because we had 9 infantry plus 1 anti-aircraft gun that were moved from here and they landed over here. These 5 transports became sacrificial forces in case he decided to attack him, but I didn't think he was going to do it because he wanted to go for all the cherries in England. So I said they're probably going to survive. So we had a force of about 31 infantry in here, plus the 8 UK fighters, plus 1 American fighter. And I calculated that the battle was going to be on the favor of the Allies because of the tremendous amount of infantry that was amassed. The fact that the Americans were able to bring in 10 additional pieces is what made the difference. Otherwise, I don't think it would have been possible to withstand the tremendous punching power that the Axis had been able to amass with, so many tactical bombers, fighters, armor, and the artillery that were like moving all over the place in the map.
So it's your opinion that even if you hadn't taken out the German Navy at 112, the UK would have still survived the German amphibious sea line operation, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Only because
I agree. By the way,
only because we were able to bring 10 additional units with the Americans.
Correct. Right. Now, when did you see that you had a potential to take out the German naval units at 112?
In all honesty, what allowed me to see that was the fact that I had extra time. I almost never have that luxury. So I started scouting, and then all of a sudden I said, wait a minute, I can bring my assets that I have here in Greece, which was 4 fighters, and I can destroy his fleet. And that's when I decided to go for it. I said, well, you know what? I have the odds on my favor. I'm going to go for it.
And I'll be honest with you, I failed to see that as a possibility. I never realized that, I never saw it, that that could happen, that you could deploy your 4 fighters in Greece, have them head north, and have a landing option with your 2 carriers that were somewhere in 118 or it was 119, right? So you redeployed your 2 carriers into 112, and that gave your fighters coming from Greece a landing spot. So that made all the difference, and it made possible for the UK, in this instance GA, to take out the German naval assets in 112, which was pretty interesting. I really failed to see that as a possibility. It's funny how time can work against you. We play with time here at the garrison, and because of the time issues, sometimes you just don't see all of the options that you have on the board. Okay, so let's pan to Asia. And what would you plan to do in India, in Calcutta?
In India, I was planning to withdraw. I was planning to go into West India, and then successfully, I was planning to move backwards because the Japanese forces that Detroit had amassed were tremendous. They were too strong. He was
Okay,
hot, 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 and too powerful.
interesting. So you were going to fall back.
Yes,
Okay,
the odds were on his favor.
Japan, Japan's favor.
On the axis, on Japan's favor. Yes.
Okay, all right. And how about the Soviet Union? What were you going to do with the Soviet Union as far as Japan is concerned? Were you going to just let them be, or were you going to focus uh, allocating your resources against Germany?
The Soviet Union was gonna completely start focusing on Japan.
Okay,
They were gonna go on a draining battle with the Japanese.
okay. So a war of attrition, basically.
Exactly.
All right. All right, guys, what can I say? It was a very interesting, challenging, a very long, prolonged game. The game was called in favor of the Allies halfway through round 10. Okay, so uh, GA played an amazing game. It was a lot of fun. We both made errors, in part because of the time issue. Anytime that you play with time constraints and time limits, it does alter your gaming. Okay, so it does. The game gets played at a different level. There is the factor of stress that becomes a part of the game. All right, guys. So Jay, anything else before we call it a day?
No, I mean, this was not an easy battle by any means. It was very, very, very stressful.
Right.
We have played this game for a few weeks, I think, because of course, because of work and life in general.
I believe this is our third week.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Something like
But it's
that.
the third time that we play. No,
No, we played maybe more.
4 or 5 times.
I, I'm thinking 7, 8 times. I
That
think
many
it's
times?
6, 7 times.
Okay.
I think
All right.
6, 7 times. I
Okay.
think between 5 and 7 anyway. So it was very stressful. Detroit kept on coming very strong, very strong. So he was super strong with the Japanese. He was super strong with the Germans. As you guys noticed, at one point he was right here at the doors of Moscow, and that was an easy challenge. So the UK and the Americans had to make some sacrificial moves just to get the Germans to come off Russia, which eventually happened.
Well, yes, definitely. Even though the when I at the beginning of round or turn one, turn two, I made a series of errors with Germany that definitely compromised Operation Barbarossa. Even though I made these errors, I was still able to push Russia all the way to Moscow. I did take Stalingrad, I did take Leningrad, I did take Caucasus, but that was insufficient because Russia has the advantage of trading land for time, and it can build up its military by recruiting infantry. Okay, and of course, ultimately, this proved to be the undoing for Germany because Germany simply ran out of gas once the uh, Western allies, the UK and the United States, started pressuring Germany. Germany had no choice but to fall back and withdraw, and this was in part because of the failure of Barbarossa, even though the Germans had made tremendous gains at the Eastern Front. All right, guys, let me know what you think. It was once again an interesting game, a lot of fun, a long game. I think we played this game for about 2.5 weeks. It lasted a total of 10 turns. All right, guys, as always, don't forget to hunker down and play. Until next time, thanks for watching.